and hashtag mdahalo wa bajeti Mombasani. Thank you very much. Rajab, we can start having the mics moving around. So we'll have the first set of
Youth Assembly. My question is regarding the cabinet resolution on dissolving some parastatal, which one was the Kenya Fishing Industries Corporation, Liwatoni. As we know, Liwatoni has potential of employing more than 10,000 youth at our coastal region. As we know, we want to get some feedback from Waziri. What are the plans on reviving that institution, because of potential to our wavuvi, and they need to be supported. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Comrades Power. Comrades Power. Bwana South, this is Peter Otondo Biro from the Technical University of Mombasa. I have a concern. Yeah. Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked. Bwana CS, I want to bring to your attention that in Mombasa, as comrades, a chapati goes at 10 bob, and we just realized that the help is being cut off by around 500 shillings, that is 50 chapatis. I was asking this, is there a possibility in the next financial year, if you are going to do the allocation, can you reduce that task? At least, it could be up for 100, 200, at least you favor us a bit.
Thank you.
Hello. Jambo Waziri. My name is Victor na mimi ni mkaji hapa Mombasa. So just a quick one. We've been seeing that Kenya imekuwa develop in terms of digital revenue collections. And Mombasa County was the first county to introduce that platform whereby at least we can now be taxing people using the digital platforms. But when it comes to the government now, tunashindwa kazi. Na yetu mnatuambia kuwa people should go to digital. Now when us pay to the Waziri, tafadhali usimchanganye na niyo tafadhali.
Sawa, tuendelee Nandos, tuendelee.
Tunalipa through digital, sindio? Kila kitu tunalipa through online, sindio? So why is it that sisi tukilipa through online platform kuna corruption nyingi sana?
Sawa, Mr. Waziri. And then my last.
Okay, thank you.
Last one.
Nando.
Mr. Waziri,
Victor,
if possible,
Victor.
if we can start taxing these churches, pia inaweza kwa mzuri. We start taxing churches.
Thank you. Thank you, Nandos. Asante. Asante.
Naomba Rajab. One last question, and then we can allow Waziri to respond to the questions.
Haya.
Hello.
Haya.
Can we have
Yes.
Can we have one last question and allow Waziri to respond to the first set of questions?
Okay.
Good evening, everyone.
Asante sana.
I'm Mildred Omondi from Technical University of Mombasa, and my question is this. Kenya has entered
Please
into...
repeat your name.
Mildred Omondi, Technical University of Mombasa. My question is, Kenya has entered into several programs with the IMF in the recent years. How does Treasury ensure that the contract attached to these programs do not disproportionately burden ordinary citizens through the austerity measures?
Thank you. Thank you very much. So let us allow Waziri to respond to the first set of questions, and then we will come back to the second set of questions. Kama hamujanielewa kwa lugha ya Kizungu, ningependa tumruhusu waziri wetu ajibu haya maswali matano ya mwanzo, kisha tutarudia muulize the second set of questions.
Oh,
there are 4. So we have one last question. There's a lady back there.
Malenga. Asante. Itifaki ilozingatiwa, mabibi na mabwana, hamujambo.
Tafadhali, Ali, 1
Sorry.
minute. The mic is being given to a lady. Please let's allow her to
It's
respond.
okay, because I've also been given a microphone, maybe.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. Let's allow her to ask the question, and then we'll get back to you during the second set of questions asking.
Amjambo. Mko salama? Kwa majina naitwa Raudha Mohamed. I'm a youth leader here in Mombasa. My question is, as we are, Bwana Waziri, as we are looking at resource allocation and bettering our economic, how are we addressing the corruption in the country?
Thank you very much. Let's allow Waziri to respond to the first 5 questions. Can I have the mic stand?
Thank you very much. I appreciate 5 of us who have asked questions. First, I'm very happy with one of the hashtags, that is my budget, my voice. Let me try to address the 5 questions. Some of them have been repeated, and for emphasis, we'll deal, especially the issue of corruption, I think has come more than once. The first question was from Edie about one of the parastatals. Is it, did you call it Kenya Fishing National Corporation? Industries Corporation. We decided as a government to do some assessments on our state-owned enterprises, what you would call state corporations or parastatals. Thank you very much. So you know, there has been talk. We have so many parastatals in Kenya, almost 200 of them, and some of them don't make sense. And a lot of us have complained, governments have complained in the past, so we decided to constitute a team to look at these parastatal reforms. And recommendations were made. And now we are in the process of implementation because the cabinet actually passed the resolution from that committee. Some parastatals are going to be dissolved, some are going to be merged, some we will transfer their. It's a bit of a challenge, yeah, but anyway, just do your best. Do your best. Maybe we take out this. Okay. Thank you. So what I'm saying is that there are some parastatals that we are dissolving, some we are merging, some we are taking the functions to the line ministries. Some of the parastatals have duplication of functions. Like, for example, we were asking ourselves, if you have water harvesting authority, and you also have national irrigation authority, what stops you from harvesting water and irrigate with it? And just have one parastatal, either water harvesting and irrigation authority. So those are some of the funny things. Like you find some parastatals, science, what, mathematics. Then you find, for example, Law Society of Kenya is self-financing. Institute of Certified Public Accountants, self-financing. When you come to Engineers Board, which is also almost regulating like these other professions, is now a parastatal. So machining, National Machining Complex, the one that was set up to do the Nyayo bars, is still there, and people are earning salary. So there is need to do away with some parastatals. But in the process, we must do it in a way that it does not, that this mic was very good when I was presenting.
See?
I use both of them? Okay, just stand there by that one. So, this particular parastatal and C. Before I leave, I would want us to get that gentleman's number. Hata mimi sasa nimekubali utamwaga unga. So if I could get that, Edie, if I could get your contact so that we follow up this matter, because you seem to be passionate about this parastatal. We don't want to close a parastatal which still has serious contribution to the economy and to the region. So we will be listening. Yeah, we will be listening, and there is a process, it's a procedure to dissolve, merge, or even transfer the functions of these parastatols. Fred Obiero, I think this was a suggestion, a request, that, and that is why we are here. It is how do we budget, isn't it? So you have suggested that we put more money for university education, if I got you correctly. Yeah, we put that help has been reduced by how much? 500 shillings. 500. And that is a lot of money. See, that money can buy something. How much what can it buy nowadays? In campus, can I tell you something? When I was in campus, first I studied, we were getting what used to be called boom, our time. I don't know whether you've heard about that thing. Our time, there was some money called 5380. 5,380. It was a lot of money. You could even pay school fees for your siblings. You could buy, we used to buy trousers. Those days, the trousers with pockets, yeah. That if you didn't have that one, then you didn't know what you are. Yeah? So we used to buy those ones and buy our whatever suitcases. Then towards the end of my schooling, something radical came, that now we have to buy food. That's the first time I paid accommodation and food. Fortunately, I was a student leader, so I didn't pay accommodation. I was given a room for free. But I paid food. And that time, ugali was 2 shillings. Sukuma wiki, 50 cents. Black tea, coffee, tea, cocoa, 50 cents. The most expensive was beef, 7 shillings, 50 cents. Is it the way it is still? Things have changed. They are tougher, eh? So I have taken note. That is why we are engaging here. That you are requesting that when we are allocating resources, we support university education. But there's something I want to say about university education. As a country, we are finding it very hard to support university education. Because we need about 100, not less than 107 billion. 107. But we are only able to allocate about 79 billion. So there is a shortfall. But the biggest problem, end up not educating the people we should educate, and sometimes we educate people we should not educate. Because you see, there are children like that, the children of Badi, who go through primary education in private schools, paying 300,000. High school, 500, 600,000 per year, or even per term. Wakifika university, I surrender it to government. I surrender my child to the government. Yet, child of a poor person, a peasant, a primary school teacher, because I categorize primary school teachers as very poor. I have one in my home and I know. My own brother, I see what he goes through. Sometimes I come through for him. So you find these children of poor people. Hello, let's not digress to the primary school teacher. The bottom line, what I'm trying to explain is that we have poor among our society. We should put resources to educating these poor people. If it was not for the free university education, which I got, I would not be standing here, because my parents would have not managed. Even my siblings would have not helped me. Because my brother who paid my school fees in high school was just a casual laborer in Kericho Tea Estate. He would not afford university education. He tried, he really struggled to get me through high school. So we need to support those who have the potential, those who will be very senior people in the society, but are leaving school because of lack of school fees. So I am very confident that the government is working on a way of ensuring that those who cannot afford to pay university pay, even as we put more resources to university education. Revenue collection, this one I think is largely about corruption. And I will tie it to the last question by Mohammed. A lady called Mohammed. There is Victor. They both asked similar question. So the question was corruption. Let me explain this. If we sealed the loopholes of corruption, which I believe we must now, because remember, ladies and gentlemen, this money we have been going for out here, IMF, World Bank, African Development Bank, money from China, money from wherever, Europe, Italy is giving us money, by the way. Italy and Germany, those are the leading bilaterals now with Kenya on loans. That money is not going to be there. With the Trump administration, it's very clear. They have said they are not investing anymore in overseas development. They are withdrawing money from the war in Europe has decided that they are taking up that war. So even the money we were getting from Europe, we are not going to get it. Because they are diverting money to the Ukraine war. Because to them, that is more important than anything else, their survival. We are going to be left on our own. And the truth is, and which we must tell every public servant, hata kama ni kuiba, tumeiba ya kutosha, there is no more money to steal. There is no more money to steal. There is this talk, someone was putting it on me. It is the former President Uhuru Kenyatta who said it, that every day we are losing 2 billion. Have you heard about that? Let me ask you, if we are losing 2 billion every day, how much is that per year? 720. I was asking, if we then reduce our appetite by 50%, if you are stealing 1,000, steal 500. Another person, if you're stealing 100, steal 50. If we make a decision, a conscious decision, the whole country, those who are stealing, not all of us, those who are stealing, that from now going forward, we steal 50%. That is not desirable, but I'm just suggesting. What happens? You will save 365 billion in a year. The total external debts that we borrow, external, is only 352. So I would not even go to queue in the IMF offices, World Bank. I said it went viral that it is very discomforting. Do you know how we go there, you know? You are scheduled, your time, and it is 30 minutes, come if you are lucky, 30 minutes like this. So we are lining in the corridor, literally. You go there, you find Ghana is waiting. You go there, you find. So mnaitwa Rwanda, wanakuja, wanamalizana. Now then you call Kenya, we come in, we defend ourselves, our figures, our what, the things that I was talking about here, inflation, reserves, tuko na hii, revenue to collect hii, expenditure we are cutting to this. Then unatoka. That is how you get the money from IMF and World Bank. My friend, if there is something we must work towards getting out of, is that begging culture. And saa hiyo tunaenda America na nitaenda April hii. On 18th, I'm on air going to the US. Tunapanda ndege, ministers, imagine tumeweka tai, tumenyonga tai. Ministers wa Africa, tunaenda wapi? Tunaenda kuomba America. You know, it is, by the way, it is the truth. Now, we can put systems, but corruption to fight, it must start with me and you. I will spell out what we are doing now to fight corruption. But I will explain to you that that is not enough. They even frustrate systems. Kwanza nyinyi mejenzi mmesoma, mna understand teknolojia, you can collapse it anytime and bring it back. So hata tukileta teknolojia gani, if you decided to hack it to do what, you will do it. So it has to be a cultural change. It must start with you. We must change our habit. I went to Singapore. I've been to Singapore, I think thrice actually. There was a time I was in Singapore, and let me tell you this. And this is not a created story, it is the truth. I went and had my lunch. When I finished, is when I discovered I only had US dollars, and they don't take dollars. But you have to go to the bureau, get change, and pay. Now, I told them, I don't have money, and I left my card, my credit card. So what do I do? They told me, no, it's okay, it's okay. I asked, is there a bureau here? They told me, yes, here you can get money exchanged. But the rates are not so good here. There is a place where you can get better rates. Imagine someone telling you that. I wonder how many in Kenya will tell you that. That don't exchange your money here, go and get a better rate there. And you know they are pointing about 300 meters away. So I said, fine, so I can get better rates there? Yes. Then I pay? Yes. So I thought they were going to give me someone to go with me. Imagine, he said, just to go, it is there. I walked and I was looking and I'm alone. Imagine I am going 300 meters away. I wonder whether that can happen in Kenya. That you have eaten money in a hotel, nobody knows you because I'm a foreigner. Kwanza black. Them, they have a different color. And then these guys trust me to go 300 meters away to get change and come and pay. And that is what I did. Look at what integrity does. So what are we doing to fight corruption in an environment where there is no integrity, where people, these are the things that we are putting in place. Number one, the biggest den of corruption is procurement. So we are implementing, as we speak, e-procurement to reduce human interaction with the system when it comes to procurement. This has been talked about for years. When I came to the Treasury, I asked, why haven't we rolled out this system? The system is already there, but it is not being rolled out because there is no money to roll it out, to train people. And how much is that? 560 million. I signed it in my first month. And now we are onboarding all government departments. By 1st of April, all MDAs should be in the system. We are going to pilot it for 3 months, April, May, and June. July 1st, all government procurement systems must be on that e-procurement platform. Because this idea of doing manual changing figures, if someone doesn't want you to win a tender, he can remove a page from your document and you lose. And then they tell you, you have not paginated your document. Just paginated, that's writing page 1, 2, column 3. That alone can make you lose a tender, even if you are the best evaluated bidder. That is what the system we have today. 2, we must have treasury single accounts. That also is going to be implemented by 1st of July. Number 3, the budget we are doing today is zero-based. This idea of saying last year I got 10 billion. So this year, can you add me 500 million more? To do what? No one knows. You must justify every coin. You must explain that these are the programs I want to run. And we have put a module in the IFMIS, a budgeting module in the IFMIS today. So that if you have said, I'm going to buy chairs, low back chair, whatever, there is a price range for it. so that we standardize procurement. You will find government offices, one floor, second floor, the same pen like this one. It is 1,000 on the second floor, 3,000 on the fourth floor. This same pen. That is what is obtaining today. Those are the things that we are working on. Finally, there is accrual accounting. I know that one now, many people will not understand. Cash basis to accrual. A bottle of water, buying this bottle of water and buying a car in Kenya has the same weight. They are expensed immediately. So when we prepare our accounts, we say water, this much. That year has gone with the water, it has gone with the car. Yet you use the car for 10 years. We must have a system which capitalizes goods, captures pending bills, and puts the pending bills in our balance sheet. So that if we are broke, we are broke. The whole world should know that Kenya government is broke. We cannot owe you money and we don't put it in our financial statement. Because pending bills is just amount owing to Kenyans, people who have supplied goods and services. So those are the methods, the systems that we are putting in place to make sure. Even HR, we are integrating the HR system. By next year, next financial year, we want all the HR systems integrated. By click of a button, I can see all the money paid to staff across the country. Not treasury, TSC bringing there. See what volumes of pages I can't even read that people have been paid, including dead people are being paid there. And you can't tell. You go to Ministry of Health, it's the same. You come to my own treasury, it is the same. The last question, no, not the last, second last, taxing churches. I don't know why you want us to tax churches. But I think, let us be honest, we should not tax God's work. God's work, hiyo tukiingia hiyo territory, hata Mungu atakasirika na mimi. That's it. Na sitaki Mungu akasirike na mimi. Maybe we can talk about businesses, yeah? If church is running businesses. But let us also, Christians, Muslims, Hindus, let us also put honesty in whatever we do. If we are going to reject any public contribution, let us reject everything public. Let us be putting money in envelopes and hand them in. Whether you have stolen that money, you ni shauri yako na Mungu yako. Because you cannot say that my million is the one that I've stolen, yet someone has contributed 1,000 and you don't know whether he also stole a chicken. Thieves are thieves, whether you have stolen a million or you have stolen a kuku, ni mwizi. So are we going to explain that mimi nimeleta sadaka, hii nimeuza mbuzi na hii mbuzi ni yangu? Let us have a standardized rule in our churches. I'm a church goer, by the way. I'm a Christian. But if we have to apply rules, let them be all standardized. From the lowest person, including the pastor, should be telling us, wewe sadaka yako hiyo umetoa wapi? Ama ni pesa yetu tulitoa wiki iliyopita, ndio umechukua ukaleta hapa. That all of us are accountable, si ndio? So we all want to be accountable. But don't push me to tax churches. Churches, vita na churches sitaki. Na hiyo inaweza kuwa vita na Mungu, si ndio? Nani anataka kupigana na Mungu hapa? Hebu inua mkono. Mimi sitaki. Lastly, there was Mildred, you asked a very, very good question about IMF programs. And the conditionalities that come with them. Something that I want to explain about IMF. By the way, IMF does not force a country into their program. We invite IMF ourselves. But when you sit with them, then you must, for you to get the funding from IMF, you must now abide by their conditions. The mistake we did with the IMF program of 2021 is that we agreed on a very ambitious revenue mobilization. When the program is coming to an end in April, okay? I think wacha tukaribishe my brother, my friend, my deputy party leader, Abdul Samad, the governor of the great people of Mombasa, my colleague, I want to repeat, my deputy party leader, and so tumemkaribisha, si ndio? Wangapi wamekaribisha governor? Nione kwa mkono. Let's give him a round of applause again. You know, this event was supposed to happen in the morning, but when I shared with my brother, and I'm aware that he was attending a very important meeting in Nairobi as a member of the Central Committee of ODM, which I used to chair, and which is my party. When I asked, in fact, I asked whether I should also attend today's event, nikaambiwa, no, wewe, you are a technocrat. You have been donated to go and correct. So we don't want you to bring you into politics. Thank you, my party leader, for saving me and blocking me from being part of the politics of Nairobi today. But kwa roho niko hapo. So he was in Nairobi, and imagine he has really, really worked tirelessly hard. He told me he would be here around 4:30. I don't know what the time is. Thank you, my brother, for coming. I know you will find your time. We have gone, first I made a presentation engaging with our friends here, the youth, and other Kenyans who are not necessarily youth, but are youthful by heart. So I explained to them about the budget, where we are, how things are tough, things which are working and which ones are not working. Now they have asked me 5 questions, which I was on the last one. Then we go for the second round. And then I don't know, the MC will tell us, we'll go to the next round, So I was answering the last question on IMF. So I said, IMF does not invite themselves into the country. We invite them when we have difficulties to help us out. So in 2021, we invited them. But unfortunately, we agreed on revenue mobilization as the most important parameter or yardstick to measure our success. Now that revenue mobilization became problematic because as we get to a new program after the one that is ending on April 1st, I will make sure that any program that we enter into are realistic, achievable, and in the best interest of the people of Kenya, so that we don't get into the problem that we got into. They did not force us to get into this program. But when we got into the program, we agreed on parameters that were not very, very achievable. Otherwise, thank you. Back to Madam, my sister here, to continue with the program.
Thank you very much, Waziri. A round of applause to him once again. And once again, this is to acknowledge the presence of the county government of Mombasa's governor, His Excellency, Abdul Samad Sharif Nasser, who is honoring us in today's dialogue. So before we go to the second set of questions, to everyone who is holding a mic, please make sure we have equal opportunities from people all across. I do not see someone with a mic huku chini. Okay, thank you very much. We look at gender, we look at persons with disability, we look at our fellow young people. Let's make sure we have equal distribution. And we also have feedback forms that my sister Aisha over there will be distributing a few feedback forms to us to support in providing feedback of this session. And to my Muslim brothers and sisters who would like to pray, unfortunately, we're not going to take a break. We will continue with the conversation. However, whoever would like to take about a 5 minutes break to go pray, please head upstairs. On my right, you're going to find a prayer room. Someone will direct you to that. So we get back to the second round of questions from the team.
Here. Rukia?
Naona mkono hapa chini. So we're
I'll
gonna
start.
So we'll start with Miriam.
Yes.
Alafu mmoja hapa chini. Alafu ndio tupande juu. Please go straight to the questions to allow more people to ask the question.
Thank you so much, CS Mbadi. I would like to talk about the housing levy. I'm a taxed Kenyan, and I feel like my taxes are not working. So the housing levy, we are deducted 1.5%, right? And after deduction, for me to be able to get a unit, I have to save on boma yangu. For me, once I save on boma yangu, so let's look at a Kenyan who's making 40,000. Most of those units go for 2 million, 1.5 units, 1.5 million or 2 million. The prices are a bit higher. Is the housing levy meant for the common mwananchi, the one who's supposed to afford it because you're saying affordable housing, or is it meant for the selected few who can afford it? My other question is, the young people don't have jobs. We're exporting labor. We saw people go to meet up with Alfred Mutua because a lot of people don't have jobs. What are we doing to create more opportunities for the young person so that we may stop labor? When we export them, who is going to come back and vote for the right government? That's it from me.
Thank you. Before we head to the second question, I am requesting every single person to please maintain silence as we allow our fellow young people to ask questions. Can we have a mic over here?
Good evening. I have a question to the CS and to the members of the public. There is a lot of wastage, Mr. CS. My name is Albert Ouma. There's a lot of wastage in the government that is costing the taxpayers a lot of money. Even those debts you are talking about, we can reduce them when we avoid this wastage. There was a convoy of 100 people in Addis Ababa at taxpayers' money. You, the CS, you have been using choppers and your colleague, Opio Wadai. I believe if we can now go to lifestyle where we reduce wastage, we can save a lot. Another one is Kasongo, distributing 20 million to a church.
Thank you very much, Bwana Waziri.
Excuse me. Sasa, see, we agreed to be civilized people. Subiri kidogo. I would like to take it uko juu. Guys.
You said you are going to deal with us on a fair ground. Please be fair, our moderator. I have a question.
1 minute. 1 minute. Naomba tusikizane. Tuko hapa kuongea sote. Tusipoheshimiana, ni mimi nasema mic inaenda wapi, na kwa sababu mic imetoka hapa chini, turuhusu watu wa juu.
Comrades power. Comrades viva. I have a direct question to Mr. Waziri. First, my name is Justus Odhiambo Moso, a student at Technical University of Mombasa. I'm a common citizen, Waziri, who works on a principle that says my tax is my voice. Mr. Waziri, my tax is not working for me. Why?
Can we have a question this side? Naomba mic hii side. Can we have a mic on this side? Yes, the lady in pink, naomba apewe mic. Chicha, wherever you are. Okay, as we wait for her, let's have the guy over there ask the question. Excuse me, where are the mics?
Comrades Power, Comrades Zaga, Comrades Ria, Comrades Shh. My good name is Vivian Wangoi. I'm a psychologist, third year student at TUM. Thank you so much, Mr. Waziri, for these platforms. Yes, and we acknowledge that you obey in our constitution according to Article 201A and B. My question goes directly to, now that you've had a lot of complaints, what mechanisms are you putting ahead to ensure transparency and accountability in the utilization of budget allocation, specifically targeted to the youth program, so that we can track their impact and effectiveness? And also, considering the digital literacy among our many youths here, isn't it? So what will the government consider to use these digital platforms to gather youth input on budget priorities and provide real-time updates on budget implementation, so that we can assess them on our funds wherever we are? And then to the long-term vision and sustainability, you've told us about the loans that we have. Beyond the short-term budget cycles, what long-term strategies are being developed to invest in youth development and create a sustainable future for young people in generation? And maybe to a common question, I would love to know why was Honorable Nini Nyoro fired from the budget committee? Thank you.
I had raised my hand.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Comrades Power! Comrades Power! Okay, to all the protocol observed. Okay, thank you so much. I'm the one talking, eh? My name is Hezron Ogola, the president of Kenya Coast National Polytechnic. So I'm here with two questions, Mr. CS. Here in Mombasa, you find that we have situation where you can go to buy a matchbox in a shop. In this shop, you are told that the matchbox is 10 shillings. In the other shop, the matchbox is 5 shillings. What are you doing as the government to ensure that there is a standard price for commodities in the country and everywhere across? Another question. Another question is...
Excuse me, allow your friends to also ask questions.
I think just one.
Allow your friends to ask questions. Can we have a question up here?
Hello? Hebu tulieni. Nawaomba mutulie. Huku kuja kwa waziri pengine hata mjui, lakini niko na haja na nina hamu na furaha hasa nilipoona nyinyi Gen Z mutamuuliza waziri maneno ya kisawasawa kuhusu budget yetu. Lakini naona maulizo ya kiuoga. Na huu uoga mnauliza nao ndio muona bwana waziri yuajibu vile anavyotaka. Bwana waziri, hebu tulia, weka kando. Kaa kando. Bwana waziri, mimi nakupenda sana. Na kukupenda kwako wewe, umefanya busara ambaye haijafanywa na waziri yoyote. Kuja kukaa na wananchi wadogo instead of your MPs there ambao wananunuliwa na yes na no. Kwa hivyo bwana waziri, nakuomba sisi wananchi twaumia na kasongo watuua tumaliza. Kwa hivyo mimi nakuomba kama ulikubali kuchukua hiyo nafasi baada ya wao washaharibu, maana wewe uko hapo kurekebisha, hauko hapo kutengeza, maana washaharibu wao. Kila kitu umekwenda umekuta kisha poro na kina Faruki Beti na kina Oscar Sudi. Sasa wao, yes, wewe uko hapo. John Badi, as I know you, when you are the MP, in the way you are guruma in the parliament, do it now also. Nobody can bwago you. You are coming from a very biggest party, ODM. Usimwogope mtu, sisi tuko. We are here to defend you and we love you, as I've said from the beginning. Here by the defend Kasongo, we don't want. We don't want. Mwache Kasongo aende kadefendiwe na Kipchumba Nurkomen, Farouk Kibet, Oscar Sudi, mwache aende kadefendi. But not you. Thanks you. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Asante, mpeche.
Comrades power. Comrades power. With due respect. Mnanisikiza? Okoko, relax. Sawa, with due respect. With the chance we have been granted. It's a special chance. And we are here because of the CS Treasury. So let's behave professional as the university at the sea level. Comrades power. From the end, again, from the other side, let's behave and listen to each other, and we go. Comrades power. We have talked with the CS. We'll have a similar conversation specifically for comrades. Sawa. So let's give others time, and we give them and we move. We'll have our time, to deal with the issues of NPM. For this side, comrades power. Comrades power. There's also one of us, the president there. You give them one word, one question. Then we'll have finished. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Atapata time yake. Si tumeongea sasa hivi. Sawa. Thank you. Excuse me. Si tumeagree that it's one person who's asking.
Waziri, His Excellency Governor, all protocol observed. Wananchi wa Mombasa, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. God is good all the time. God is good and that is nature. Wow. Kwa majina naitwa Amin Salim, Chairman of Old Town Beach Management Unit na chair wa creek ya Chuda Creek ambao mko mbele yake hapa. Langu litakuwa specific kuhusu Kenya Fish Industrial Cooperative. Ni jambo ambalo within 7 years tumesubiria na juzi tumeona limekuwa privatized kupatiwa mtu binafsi, na kwa miaka 7 kama wananchi, kama vijana, kama wavuvi tumeweza kulisubiria lile soko ili liweze kutusaidia kama wananchi wa Mombasa na wananchi wa Kenya kijumla. Ni soko ambalo limejengwa na taxpayer ya mwananchi na ni soko ambalo litasaidia zaidi ya watu 10,000 kupata ajira katika lile soko. Katika Kenya kunao many corporations za meat na majani chai nini, na tunafurahia jambo kama hilo kwa sababu ni kuenuka kwa Kenya. Kama Coast ndo first time tumepata kiwanja kama kile, na katika ripoti ya 2020 hadi 2024 tumekuwa tu provide 6% of fish food in Kenya, while our brothers ambao nafurahi sana kuwaona kwa sana hapa, watu wa Kisumu ambao wana provide 94%. We really appreciate their effort katika kuleta fish food in Kenya. But hiki kiwanja kimetengezwa mpaka kimekamilishwa na kimetiliwa pesa zaidi ya mara 2 kujengwa kiko kiwanja kiwe international level. ghafla kimemalizika, kinataka kupatiwa mtu binafsi. Huyu mwananchi wa chini, huyu mvuvi wa hali ya chini, hii jamii ya hali ya chini itakwenda wapi? Isaidike wapi? Kama huyu private property, kila kitu cha government kikimalizika kitapatiwa mtu private, hatutofaidika na hili jambo. Asante sana.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Asailwa Nuri Katana. I'm a representative from Kwale Youth Assembly. Kwa majina naitwa Asailwa Nuri, na mimi ni kiongozi wa vijana from Kwale Youth Assembly. I serve as a Waziri of Education from Kwale Youth Assembly. All protocol observed, Waziri, I only have one question. We have qualified engineers in Kenya, but it is so sad that as a Kenyan nation, we acquire labor from outside our nation. While here in Kenya, we have qualified people. This is based in a health department especially, where we have biomedical engineers. Lots of them who have, are satisfied by ISO, and they have already graduated, but they are not employed at the moment. And this is because sipitali ikijengwa, equipment zikiletwa, as our government, they acquire private companies to come do contract for services of those machines. While we have potential young people who are very energetic and have more knowledge on how to embrace the new technology. How can we change that as a nation? Thank you.
Comrades power, comrades viva, comrades wisdom. My name is Dennis Odhiambo, medical laboratory officer, member of Parliament Kisumu County 2027. I want to say this, CS Mbadi. I want to say this. We pay taxes for our teachers to get salary. The schools also get CDF money. They still get capitation. And then we also pay school fees for our students to go through these schools. So I'm in a medical field, Waziri, but I want you to at least make me understand as a CPA, why are we paying taxes for the e-citizen services to work, and still we pay for the services when we are applying for these services. So make me understand as a CPA. And then again, as Ruto is giving churches randomly 20 million, he should also be giving youths 20 million randomly. Thank you so much.
Vijana oe, vijana oe. Kwa majina naitwa Judy Barasa, na serve as the Secretary General Youth Advisory Mombasa. My question is, Waziri umeongelea about the current situation ya debt. So my question is, how will the Treasurer ensure that the so Waziri umeongelea about the current situation ya debt ya Kenya sahi. So my question is, how will the Treasurer ensure that the debts, each and every shilling we're taking right now are being invested in the project that are going to create more opportunities to our youth, not only in the recurrent expenditure. My second question is, umemention hizo debt na masiku tunafaa kulipa. So what happens when we are completely unable to pay the debts? What happened to us?
Thank you so much. Once again, my name is Dennis Odhiambo. I've got, my question goes like this. I'm asking, we pay for taxes for our teachers to get salary, and still the government also supporting the schools with the capitation, also plus CDF. But still we pay for fees. We students, we pay for fees. Another question, we have got e-citizen. It is running. We pay taxes for these services to run. When we are doing application online, we still pay for fees for application. And then lastly, I said that Ruto is giving 20 million to churches. Let him also give it randomly to our youth. Thank you so much.
Aye. Okay. Okay. Waziri, may I have your attention? My name is Zedekiah Dika. I am an advocate of the High Court, and I lead civil society organization in this region. Question is, thank you. There have been clear indications by the Office of Control of Budget that certain amount of money that we contribute as Kenyans as taxation is not being used within the system. The department that shares that money with whoever gets it is within your hand. What are you doing to seal those loopholes? Finally, the coastal region is a very rich region. There are a lot of minerals within our counties in the coastal region, but the coastal region is not benefiting from those minerals. You're also saying that we have a debt, a huge debt, and we have minerals in Kenya. What is the contribution of minerals and natural resources to the source of revenue for this nation? And how can that mineral take us away from this cry of whether we have enough resources to benefit or to work through our budget? Thank you.
Bwana Waziri, sisi tukiwa hapa Pwani tunasema Kiswahili. Mwanzo kabisa tumekushukuru. Jina langu? Bwana Waziri, niko na jina manne. Jina langu ni Rafael Ondiek Odieny Wakaya. Number one, Bwana Waziri. Bwana Waziri, wewe uko katika cheo kikubwa. Utafanya nini katika industry na digital technology ili hao watoto waende 50 years ama 100 years from now? Kwa sababu naona wengi wanaongea na wewe kama jokers. They are not telling you the truth, but the country is burning. The country is burning. And I am repeating, it is burning. Ndio wengine wanaita Kasongo hapa, mimi simjui. Haya. Number 2. Bwana Waziri, tuko na hii kitu inaitwa enterprises. What are you going to do about the enterprises budget? Kwa sababu tunaona China, tunaona Germany, tunaona Japan, tunaona USA na kwingineko. How are you doing to do the budget of these my young daughters and sons before me here? Utafanya nini? Kwa sababu hawaongei kukupendeza.
Angalia, tunamtafutia microphone.
Nani amezima?
Ndio hapo. Check. Tumia hii.
La mwisho, Bwana Waziri, la mwisho important. And you sitting there, you are a very important person. La mwisho, the youth, disability, akina mama, bajeti yao utafanya namna gani? Kwa sababu tumepewa 5% ya vijana na walemavu na akina mama. Hata hiyo 5% hatupati. Utafanya namna gani ili tuishi afueni? Kwa sababu nyinyi mnakunywa chai Nairobi. Thank you very much.
Wait. One. I've been sitting here requesting for microphone, but they are surpassing me as if I'm a waving flag. Okay, comrades power, comrades wisdom. My name's Jared Clayton, a senior student majoring in health. So, Bwana CS, I have one question and one concern. My question is fiscal equitability versus political expenditure. So, Mr. CS, I want you to answer me this question. What is going on between fiscal equitability of this country and political expenditure? You see, I've never had our president, like last time when you were here in Mombasa, if you go to town at night, there are children there, young. Watoto wadogo wako hapo wamekaa nje, but the president haizi kuja aseme, from today, I'm giving this 20 million to construct maybe penye watu watakuwa wanalala. I've never seen that. But a church that inakaa imejengwa of millions, uende unapeana hapo millions. What is going on between fiscal equitability and political expenditure in this Kenya? Number two is a concern, and I'm taking this as an opportunity because the governor is here and the CS is here. So, like, if we as youth, if you want to get taxes from us, you can't get taxes to pay our debt without job opportunity. But I can see the government has failed to raise enough job opportunities for the youth in Kenya. For me, like we youth, we have become innovative enough. Like for me personally, I have my own idea of foundation, but I cannot get to that idea because of financial instability. So, Bana CS, this is my concern to you. I have a foundation idea that can raise so many job opportunities to the youth. If you can hear me out enough, and maybe if you call me personally, I can explain it to you. I can explain it to you, and if you can hear me enough, that idea, Mr. President, Mr. CS, wait. You know, tuongea tu kweli, like kama si used to ko hapa, si wote, we are depending on this Swahili pot, si ndio? We are depending on this Swahili pot. Now, this person enough, but without that more financial stability. But if you have this financial stability from, like for me, if you start other foundations, we can be able to create more job opportunities, and it will be majorly for the youth for this country. So, Mr. CS, kindly hear my concern. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry. The second generation of questions were actually 12. And let me admit one thing, that I have seen more openness in the second round of questions. What I want to remind you is, remember, in 2022, when the cabinet was being vetted, I was still in the national, that time I was in the National Assembly. I was serving my 16th year, and I categorically talked about the skunk, isn't it? I want to guarantee you that I don't want to be a skunk. So I am going to work very hard not to be a skunk. Sawa sawa? That's why I want to address and answer your questions the best I can. And I told you that let us be open with each other. And I want to again remind you that the theme of today's meeting was how do we budget? What is it that you think we should include in our programs? So whatever you have said, I am taking it as a lesson. I am taking what can go into the budget. So it is not in vain. When you complain about what are we doing about the youth, that is feedback from you. That is why I am here. When you tell me about wastages, I'm already cracking my head. How do we reduce the wastages? Amze there, who has very many names, Raphael, has actually talked about us taking tea in Nairobi. That is true. But I decided to today come and take tea from Mombasa. At least there is something to appreciate me for, isn't it? That yes, I've been taking tea in Nairobi, but today I'm taking tea in Mombasa. Now let me address the questions. On the question of housing levy by Miriam, I think we need probably to sit and explain this housing program. There are various categories of Kenyans. And I'm not saying it is issues still need to be addressed. But there are various categories of Kenyans and how they qualify for housing, for allocation of houses. There are Kenyans who will get it almost at market price. But there are Kenyans who are getting the social housing. What we need is that the State Department for Housing must make sure that the allocation of housing is done in a transparent and is done in a way that promotes the objective for which the housing levy was formed. So there are those challenges. I take note of the challenges. But we must understand that there is no one standard way of allocating housing to Kenyans. The objective was to make sure that at least all Kenyans have decent housing as is put in the Constitution. The implementation strategy was to get housing levy, which is 1.5%. But I want to tell you, it is now not 1.5%. The effective rate today on housing is not 1.5%. It's 1.05%. And I'll explain to you why. If that housing levy was not taken from you, it would have gone to your salary and it would have been taxed. So you would have gotten 1.5% less 30%. But now, because you are contributing it to housing levy, you are paying that 1.5% and it is not being taxed. I think that is something also which I have explained and people don't understand. If you are paying housing levy of 1,500, that 1,500, if there was no housing levy, you would not have got 1,500 at the end of the month in your salary. It was going to be taxed at 30%, largely, especially if you're earning anything upwards of about 40,000. So you would have paid 1,500, you would have received 1,500 less 30%, which is 450. So you would have only received 1,050. So effectively now, with the amendments in December, which I brought to Parliament and was successful, now the effective rate of housing levy is 1.05%. Now, young people don't have jobs. What are we doing to create jobs? This is a very, very important question. Actually, one of the reasons for the uprising of Gen Zs is because they don't have jobs. The frustration. And therefore, job creation, which is an agenda of this government and is in our Vision 2030, must now be actualized. The only way to create jobs is to focus and put your attention to the manufacturing sector. We must move from agriculture being an end in itself. Agriculture as our backbone, as the backbone in our economy, must now support creation of jobs by supporting manufacturing. And that is why value chain must now be emphasized. We are, Honorable Abdul Samad is aware of this. Government has taken steps to create what we call CAIPs, the County Aggregated Industrial Parks. That is one strategy. And we are putting in the next budget 4.5 billion shillings. In this budget, we have 3 billion for this financial year. The problem is Parliament has failed to pass the bill for this financial year because of the tussle over fuel road maintenance levy with the counties. We are going to lose that money because of unnecessary fights in Parliament. How I wish that Parliament, going forward, we are looking for a solution with these governors. We have embarked on a solution how to get out this money and ring fence it so that we release funds. Every county, like a county like Migori, is already at 70%. I know governor here is working very hard to set up industrial park. Every county must create employment. There is nowhere where we will sit as a country and tell you now we have created employment in Garissa, go there. There are two things that the government must do. You must create an enabling environment in terms of legislation and tax regime and policies to encourage direct investment, whether foreign or local. And that is why I have said that under my watch at the Treasury, we are not going to disadvantage businesses by increasing unnecessarily the taxes so that we stop discouraging employment, investment and job creation. But we must also invest in some infrastructure in counties like the one I've mentioned so that we can create jobs at all levels. We already have a pool of 3.4 million Kenyans with no jobs. I don't know whether you knew that. Fresh from, those who have come out of colleges. We are churning out about 800,000 Kenyans every year who are getting into the job market without jobs. It is a crisis. It must be dealt with. So I agree with Miriam that must catch our attention. And I will respond, combine that and respond to the issue of mining and minerals. There are only 3 sectors of our economy which contracted last year, which did not grow. Some contracted. 3, manufacturing sector, contracted. Construction sector, contracted. And mining and minerals. 3 sectors. We have decided as a government, and we have taken a decision in the cabinet, that in the next budget, we are going to target these 3 sectors to generate more employment and to have better growth in the manufacturing sector, in mining and minerals, and also we have raised last week and today, we have raised so that we pay the pending bills of road contractors to go back to the road. By the end of April, we want to have cleared, if possible, if we raise all the money that we intend to raise, to pay all our contractors, because that is one of the reasons why construction industry has contracted. We are already working and we have worked on the interest rate, which is also making construction industry not to grow. Because when banks are not giving money to private sector, people are not borrowing to invest in projects like housing, then you will not have growth in that sector. So we are paying contractors, we are bringing down interest rates so that banks can give money to you and I. You construct your house, you will employ not less than 20 people in the construction of that house. as we supplement with the government. The government should not be the one implementing everything. We should just be creating an opportunity for investment. Let me move quickly. How do we deal with wastage in government? We must make sure that we do our budgeting properly. But this question is even more than explaining that we must deal with wastage. Because this question has directly touched on me. Even how I use chopper has been asked. And I must not run away from that. I must answer it because I'm accountable to the public. I'm a public officer. About 100 people going to Addis Ababa. By the way, nobody, I am not aware of anybody who government supported to go to Addis Ababa. You ask me a question, am I supposed to respond or I leave? If there is any public officer who used public resources to go to Addis Ababa, we have Auditor General, they will be caught. But as far as I'm concerned, because the one which was louder was the one for once in a while. But I think because I was not a CS, nobody bothered. Now, you go, and then someone was saying, I go to my home using a chopper. If I go to Kakamega, there is a program which we call FLOCA. FLOCA program is financing locally led climate financing. It is in all counties, including Mombasa, will come together with my brother here. We are supporting counties, they are putting money, we are also putting money. In Kakamega, there were audit queries which were threatening the very survival of that program. And we are getting billions of shillings from various donors, including German. There was an audit query. I was also going to Kisumu the same day. The FLOCA program has a budget for oversight. They support my reaching Kakamega using a chopper. They could have fueled my car as well, but how many hours would it have taken? And we reopened the account of Kakamega County. And I came back to Kisumu over the same FLOCA. Then I was going to my home. So did you want the chopper to leave me on the tarmac road in Kisumu to walk to my home? If the chopper is coming to Nairobi, it had to drop me at home in the village and then come back to Nairobi so that I can greet. Once you calculate, then can calculate between Kisumu and my home how much it would have cost out of the cost, then I pay. But if anything, the chopper was coming. Answer that question of chopper. This one, decision. If the president has decided to contribute to churches, why do I have to respond to that? You ask him, because I have not seen any voucher. I have not seen any voucher asking me for approval of money to go and give to the church. Then I would immediately mark on that paper that we don't have a vote for supporting church events. But if this has not come to my, with a voucher, a file for me to either approve or disapprove, now you bring me to Mombasa, I come to Mombasa to engage you on the budget, then you ask me how, the following day, why the president is wearing a tie and how he bought the tie. Honestly, you guys, let us talk about it like this, that if there's any extravagance by government officials, then we stop it. Is that not so? But asking me specific question, buddy, using a chopper, that, yes. By the way, using to remove government money and give to churches. And by the way, the president has for his church event. X, Y, Z. This is how I want it. Don't go outside that. What I want you to do, put money for my education. Put money to give me water. I need a road. Remove this. I've been seeing you putting money in this budget line, tower. You're in a letter. But thank you. I have taken out of what you have said. There is a point I've picked. That there is a Kenyan in Mombasa called Odhiambo who feels his tax is not working. So when I get back home, I'm going to ask myself, why do you think Odhiambo feels that his tax is not working? And if I get the answer now, don't blame me if I diagnose your disease poorly or wrongly. But I'm going to try to diagnose and find out why you feel your tax is not working. Vivian, you have talked about transparency and accountability and how to channel more resources to areas that touch on youth. Now you have answered Odhiambo. Now that is the good thing of having many people. Vivian, and you spoke immediately after him. I think you also saw a gap and you took advantage. Now you have advised me. Honestly, it is, by the way, I'm not making a fun. That is the truth. She is telling me to areas that would create jobs to the youth and would target youth. Is that not so? And enhance transparency. Transparency, keyword. What are the long-term strategies being developed that we are coming up with to support development? If we can be faithful, one, to Vision 2030, which I want to try very much, that our budget is aligned to the MTP4, media of 2030, and be faithful to the agenda that we start of having agriculture support manufacturing, by making sure that those crops which have long been forgotten, like coffee, we increase the production of coffee from 50,000 to 150,000 metric tons per year, and do value addition before we take our coffee, which I'm told is one of the best in the world. Better than Uganda, which is of a poor quality, lesser. No, let me not say poor, lesser quality. Robusta is lesser quality than Arabica, isn't it? Yes, that is what I hear. I'm not an expert in coffee. So those are the things that we must remember. By the way, that's just a simple investment. Governor, let me tell these people, do you know, by injecting money, and we released 1 billion to KCC the other day, KCC has increased uptake of milk from 100,000 liters per day to now 200,000 liters per day. Promoting farmers. That is now good use of resources, where you can see marginal productivity, increase in marginal productivity. Not where we throw money and we don't even see what we are getting out of it. I was asking when we were taking Eurobond to sweep or clean Kibera. Much as making Kibera clean is very important, but the question is, why do you go to the, how many of you here would go to the bank, borrow money to go and clean, kufieka their homes, just to cut grass? Because how will you pay back the loan? We must put our money where there is value addition. Standardizing prices of commodities. You